Hello, 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 guys. We are back. We are back. This is week 25. I think I'd be better at keeping track of this, right? 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yes, week 25. This is a reminder of what we did last week. Last week was steampunk. This was last week's card. This week's word is solitude. Um, and it's going to be a pretty simple display. Simple in my mind anyway. Um, I have black and white paint. I've got Moonlight White archival ink. I have my letter stamps set up mostly to go. I need a letter from this one and a letter from this one to finish spelling this one out. So I'll stamp these two first and then put that one together. And I have a little die cut of a little black kitty. So when I think of solitude, I do think of cats. They're very, animals that are okay being alone. I think in animal form, they kind of personify solitude for me. So that's why I chose the little kitty. And I could have done any color. I've got brown, different shades of brown. I had white cats. Yeah, I could have picked any color, but I'm kind of sticking in the black and the white. So just tiny little black starting out. Probably should have some paper under this. I mean, not that it matters. I guess I'm putting the paint right down on my table anyway. Add some water, just kind of thin it out. Blending that in. A little bit more water. Ooh, that's a little too light for me for right this section. I want it to be a little darker still. Add a little tiny bit of white. Getting into that gray zone. Blending as best I can. Again, this is just an index card. This isn't mixed media paper, so blending as best I can. more black and a little more white. Mixing that in. Add some water to it. Whew, that's a little darker than I meant for it to be. Add a little more white to that. Come on. Drop. Oh, that's still pretty dark, isn't it? Guess we'll add a big dollop of white. And again, if I am going to be, you know, some of this paint is going to be wiped away because it's more than I need, but I'm okay with that. There's a lighter gray that I'm was aiming for, a little closer to what I was aiming for. Water this down just a little bit more. I want it to be very thin, leading into solid white. Okay. That left a big hole. There's some solid stuff in there. Blend those edges a little as best I can, because again, this is not mixed media paper, so once it's in the paper, it's in the paper. Drop my paintbrush in the water, get my paints out of my way, clean up my mess. Grab my dryer. Now, 25 weeks of doing these. How many times have you guys seen me like put stuff straight down on this and use my dryer? Well, it actually ended up melting the underside of this. You hear it stick. It's still very stuck up toward that end that I haven't pulled out yet. But like this whole area of my silicone mat was essentially glued to my table. I can still feel, yeah. I hadn't really thought of that. So this was a quote that I found that I really liked, and I just took a snippet of it for this project. But it says, being solitary is being alone well, being alone luxuriously, immersed in doing of your own choice, aware of the fullness of your one presence rather than of the absence of others, because solitude is an achievement. Alice Kohler, Koller. Obviously, I mean, I suppose I could have fit the whole quote on here, but it would have taken up the entire card. So I just took a snippet of it. So my words here are be alone, and like I said, the E and the L from here will spell out well. Be alone well is what I'm stamping on here. And I'm using Moonlight White archival ink. So B. This one's going to be a pretty simple one as well. I'll go this way so I can see what I'm doing. And try to get it straight, you know? Be alone. W-E. I guess I take them both out of alone. Be alone well. So again, this is Brilliance Pigment Ink Stamp Archival Moonlight White. I tested gold, I tested silver, two different white pigments, and that was the one that I decided that I liked better. So let's get these put away. I crashed out early last night, so I have like so many videos to get caught up on watching. All right, get those put away. There it is. I'm like, where'd my little kitty go? Black on black on black. A little glue stick. interesting. The black from the paper kind of bled through with the glue. Interesting. Never quite seen that before. So again, just doing something simple again this week. Be alone well. This week was solitude. Next week is questions. Questions. I have to be thinking about that. Questions. Let me take my picture for the thumbnail real quick. And with that, we are going to conclude this week's hashtag Altered Index 2025 with this week's simple little card. So thanks for tuning in again, and we will talk to you next week where we address questions. Peace out.